Look, Tesla and Musk are leading this. They will continue to control this in Mount Rushmore, since there are 7 million cars on the road, and that number will rise to 10 million. It's a black eye scenario when you consider GM in relation to the Cruise. In the long run, I believe they might OEM Tesla technology for fully autonomous and self-driving cars. This is why, you look at this beltway. The difference now is that Musk is going to have a game, when before he was kind of the enemy. In terms of the federal regulatory environment, it's revolutionary, and I believe Musk may contribute to its transformation. To put your argument into perspective, some claim that he contributed $277 million to Donald Trump's campaign, which increased his net worth by $200 billion. It appears to be a wise financial decision. A more significant concern about FSD is if being a market leader benefits us more due to its prestige than just its technological prowess. As the author points out, there have been issues with Tesla's fully autonomous driving system. Accidents have occurred, and there have been serious concerns about whether it is prepared for use. To what extent does implementing the system at a time when there is only one entity with such favor make it more vulnerable? Yes, of course. Additionally, I believe that this will be implemented in phases. In our opinion, the new environment will provide Tesla with a much more favorable environment in the upcoming years with regard to autonomous vehicles. And in the end, I think cybercav exists. You are aware that robotaxis, which we discussed today, will expedite and realize that vision. The other problem, Lisa, is that, as we've discussed on the show, robotics isn't even taken into account from a value standpoint when you look at Optimus. Overall, I'm still watching this AI party. It was 9 p.m., but it's now 10 p.m. The celebration continues until 4 in the morning. The celebration lasts until 4 a.m., but by then I'm typically in bed. And now, you allow Benioff and software in behind those velvet ropes. Other software gamers will be joining you. There will be more people joining the celebration. It simply returns to where I think we are headed in 2025. Okay, but to reiterate for the Debbie Downer viewer that is writing in regarding your thoughts, you're actually discussing a feeling. However, where is the technology at the moment? How much longer must we wait for technology like this? When it comes to autonomous and ASV, I believe that in a year, we will have reached the place where we need to be in order to raise the FSD penetration rate above 50%. And I believe that the Beltway's regulatory web has been a major obstacle in this case. Look, without the technology, the regulatory web won't matter. I think there has been a big advancement in technology. Dude, if you look at 13 right now, you can see what they've accomplished. Look though, haters still hate. Well, the point is that they detested it at a cost of $100 billion. Isn't that right? At $500 billion, it was hated. Had a $1 trillion hatred for it. They will be shouting from the tops of the mountains at $2 trillion. However, it relates to the fact that the AI revolution is here, just as in larger big tech. It's not a bubble moment from 1999, but it is a 1996 moment. Additionally, Musk and Tesla will have a significant impact on the level of autonomy that develops there. Since you discussed it a lot, I'd like to add one more before you leave. Palantir. Why isn't there more discussion about that? The Messi of AI, isn't that the run it's seen so far in 2024? 50%, I mean. However, I think it has the potential to become the next Microsoft or Oracle. And that's why, look, the people who detest it loathed it as teenagers and as elderly residents of Del Beach. So, at $13, they disliked it, and at $75, they hated it. However, I think it's only the beginning. This is the ideal application case for the AI revolution. Karp, Godfather A. Jensen, Thiel, and others are all up there in the Mount Rushmore. Is Karp doing something correctly? I believe Karp is aware of AI application cases. I believe there is ultimate AI prowess because the algorithms they developed are the only ones of their kind. No other program is comparable to them. Additionally, I believe that Palantir has been institutionally ignored. In our perspective of the larger Palantir tale, retail has undoubtedly been a little ahead of the curve, but we're only getting started. However, as I often remark, when the bears are hibernating, they are unable to locate AI in the spreadsheets. Hey, Nvidia AI is the stock we're keeping an eye on today. Before it went into corrective territory that had been the year's most successful FOMO play. But today, it's receiving some love. Today, Nvidia's stock is up almost 4%. What causes it? Why is there a resurgence of optimistic enthusiasm in the stock? A few distinct items. As you mentioned, shares are currently up roughly 4.3%, erasing previous gains that caused the market to enter a correction. Although it is officially positive for the week, it is still down over 2% for the month of December, which is noteworthy in my opinion because, for instance, the SOXX is up roughly 5%. Broadcom, one of the rivals, has increased by around 44% this month. This month, Marvell is up around 20%. In actuality, both of those are significantly lower now. Thus, it appeared that the sale was primarily Nvidia specific. Other chip stocks were discovered by investors who decided to purchase them. Today, that will change. As I mentioned earlier, Nvidia is reducing those monthly losses. Regarding the cause, there can be several distinct explanations. Of course, there may be some dip buying. About 12% separates Nvidia from its peak. Additionally, according to a Financial Times investigation, Microsoft purchased twice as many Nvidia chips this year as its biggest competitors in the US and China. I'm not sure whether you saw that, Diane. They are stating that Microsoft purchased 485,000 Hopper chips this year, based on certain data. Meta is Nvidia's next largest customer, having purchased 224,000 Hopper chips. Thus, it is evident that demand remains high. However, it's also possible that some of Microsoft's rivals may need to make some significant purchases to catch up, which could be good news for Nvidia. Therefore, that can act as a motivating factor today. Naturally, the Jetson Orin Nano Developer Kit, the newest AI Gen AI supercomputer, was announced yesterday. Fitting in the palm of the hand, it has a lot more ad processing capability and costs nearly half as much as the previous kit, which cost $249. That's that. Additionally, there is some encouraging analyst activity. We currently view Nvidia as our top large-cap pick in our coverage universe, given the company's dominant positioning in AI accelerators and the upcoming launch of the Blackwell architecture. Piper Sandler stated, indicating that Nvidia is the best investment going into 2025. Thus, overweight was repeated. Today, all of those things are encouraging for Nvidia. Currently, shares are up 4.4%. Okay, so there's some real momentum there. Regarding Nvidia, it appears that the bulls are back, at least for the time being. We'll see if this keeps happening. Additionally, we're talking about some of that momentum clearly continuing here, which is something I wanted to emphasize. It's been a fascinating conversation, in my opinion. The topic of Broadcom suddenly stealing Nvidia's lunch is being discussed a lot, and it's like, wait a minute. First of all, this name. Well, their earnings impressed me. I do believe that a significant portion of their legacy business still sets them apart from Nvidia. However, I do find it intriguing that they are becoming more and more affordable at the moment. There is a belief that this trade-down effect will occur as some of these corporations may choose to switch to a less expensive choice, such as Broadcom, so taking Nvidia's now uncontested market share. For a while now, we have been discussing how this has turned into a one-horse race. I am aware that AMD used to be a very strong competitor. In the latter part of this year, it hasn't really appeared to be that way. However, I do find the Broadcom story intriguing because, in terms of simple flows, I believe you have to look at it and speculate that perhaps that's where China's antitrust investigation comes in. In general, the expectation for revenue is simply higher. Every time it releases quarterly numbers, Nvidia has been blowing it out of the water, you know. However, it also makes for some challenging competitions. If you require any other changes, please let me know.